Hi, 8th graders. This is Module 1, Lesson 1, and we're going to start with investigating transformations. So the first thing that you want to do in every lesson is look at this I can statement, because what you're going to do at the end of the lesson is come back to this and see if this is true. I can describe what happens to the sides and angles of a figure when it is transformed. So transformations, you can think about transform just means to change. So in this module, we're going to be looking at different kinds of rigid transformations where you're making a change of some kind. And so in this particular module, you're looking at, can you describe what happens to the sides and angles of a figure when it is transformed? So this Spark Your Learning is where you'll start each time. And so let's look at this. Rachel is tiling a rectangular floor using triangles. Draw a triangle and cut it out. Move the triangle in different ways and trace those shapes to draw a rectangular pattern using triangular tiles. Experiment with different shapes of triangles and different ways of moving the triangles to tile the whole floor with no gaps or overlapping tiles. So choose whatever type of triangle you want. I have some different ones down there. You can try with all the same triangle, with different triangles, large, small, weird shaped, whatever seems fun. So go ahead and pause the video and try that, and then we'll go on to the next part. So now we come to the build understanding, and let's look at a couple things before we start on the actual questions. So this yellow box is always important. Anytime you see that, look at it, read it, figure out what they're trying to convey. It'll always be information that you need. They again have the materials that you need for this lesson and this page. So let's look at number 1. On graph paper, draw a quadrilateral that has exactly one pair of parallel sides. Remember, parallel sides are sides that would not intersect even if extended indefinitely. Cut out the shape and trace it in the center of the box. So I did a trapezoid, as you can see, and so this is a quadrilateral. It has 4 sides, but unlike a square or a rectangle, it has exactly one pair of parallel sides. You can see here that these 2 sides are not parallel. So the top and the bottom are the parallel sides. So what they want you to do is slide the quadrilateral to a new location in the box and trace it. So you'll trace your quadrilateral, and then they want you to slide it over to a new spot and trace it again. So you should have 2 quadrilaterals side by side. So next they want you to tell what you did. Describe the direction and length you slid the shape. And then the next part, use a ruler to measure the sides of each quadrilateral and use a protractor to measure the angles of the original shape and the new shape. What's happened to the length of the sides, the measure of the angles, and the relationship between the parallel sides of the 2 objects. So anytime here you can pause the video and work on that. You don't have to keep going and listen to me talking while you're trying to work on it. It's best to pause and work on it, think about it, and then start the video again. So then C, when you slid the shape, did anything change besides its position? And then D, they want you to draw a horizontal line near but outside your second quadrilateral. So I'm going to just move this up a little bit. And then you would just draw a line. I'm going to just draw below. And then what they want you to do is flip your quadrilateral over that horizontal line. Then once you've done that, flipped it over that line, they ask you questions. How have things changed? So read through the question and answer the questions that they're asking about your third shape. So that is all for this page. On this next section, they want you to, again, on graph paper, draw a polygon that has at least 6 sides. So a hexagon or an octagon, it can have more than 6, it could have 7, 8, whatever. And and one pair of parallel sides. So my hexagon that I drew has more than one, but they didn't say only one, exactly one, so this figure is fine. You can do your figure differently. For A, they say place the tip of your pencil in the center of the shape. So they want you to put it right in the middle. That may not be exactly in the middle. And then turn the shape and trace its new location. So let's look at this. What they want you to do is take this shape and turn it on its center. So it might be like that. It might go all the way around. I didn't get it so the top and bottom are flat there, but you can see that I turned it. So go ahead and pause the video and do that. They're asking how are the sides and angles comparing from the original to the one that you did. And then they want you to answer that question. So go ahead and do that. And then C, they want you to trace it again, but this time you're going to put your pencil on one of the corners, and it can be any corner. And then you'll rotate your figure around that corner. So it'll rotate around, but it'll kind of swing out differently. So they want you to try that. So go ahead and do that. Pause the video, try that, and then again answer D and C as well. And how have the angles moved? How have the sides moved? Answering all those questions as you go along. So pause the video and go ahead and try that. So here we're on question 3, and this is still the build understanding. So I think that's why they don't have the step it out. So they say Dakota has a mirror that is the shape of a trapezoid. She started by hanging the mirror in one location, then she decided to hang the mirror in a different location. Complete the drawing of the mirror in its new location. How could Dakota move the mirror from the, how did she, or how could she have moved the mirror from the first location to its second location? So if you look at this original trapezoid, you can see that these sides are longer than these. So that's what they mean by complete the drawing. They mean make sure that these sides are the same length as these, and then that this side is the same length as where you end up drawing it here, and this one is here, so you can see that's there. So go ahead and pause the video and do that and answer those questions. Look at how things have changed. How did she move the mirror? And describe how the side lengths and angle measures were affected when she moved the mirror. And how do you know? So you're going to do a lot of thinking, a lot of processing of what's happening when she moved the mirror. And then the next section, check understanding. That's something that, again, will help you know whether you really understood the material and how well you can go back to the I can statement and say, yes, I can do those things. So also do the check understanding. So once you've done the check understanding and you feel confident that you understand what you're doing, what is a transformation, what's happening here, this page, these next 2 pages are the on your own section. And this is just practice with what you've been learning. So go ahead and do these on your own. And then this next section, the more practice homework, it's similar to the on your own that was just on the last 2 pages. So if you feel like you need more practice or you just want to do more, go ahead and do this page, the more practice homework. And then the test prep is practice with standardized testing type questions. So that's a good thing to do, just to practice that kind of thing. And then this spiral review, I would really encourage you to do that each time, because it's just going to always review back and give you more practice with some of the different concepts that you've learned and what you're doing. So that's all for this lesson. So I'll see you in the next lesson.